Divine revelation for the chosen. 3 miraculous truths confirmed for your prophetic journey. In a quaint English village where the sun-dappled cobblestones cradled centuries of faith, Emily felt the stirring of excitement as she prayed fervently one crisp autumn evening. She could hardly breathe as she sensed a divine revelation waiting, fluttering like the leaves caught in the gentle breeze. 3 miraculous truths echoed through her heart, as vibrant as the autumn hues painting the sky. The promise of healing, provision, and the bond of prayer unfurled before her, each shimmering with the light of heaven. As the candlelight flickered in the warmth of their home, the weight of her husband's illness loomed large. But there, amidst the shadows of despair, emerged a spark. Could hope truly rise like dawn upon their fractured souls? In her quiet corner, Emily felt the murmur of divine wisdom deep within her spirit as she gathered her loved ones for prayer. Each flickering flame seemed to hold the whispers of angels, urging them together in a sacred embrace. In that desperate moment, she drifted into a dream where the air thickened with the essence of faith, and she stood beneath St. Michael's steadfast steeple. A soft glow enveloped her, and she saw the first truth unfold. Hold fast, healing awaits those who believe. She awoke in gasps, the sacred promise coursing through her veins like a revival of joy. Could it be? Yes. The knowledge settled over her like a warm hug from God. However, doubt crept in as her husband's health faltered. The emotional weight bore down on her spirit, and the once vibrant colors of her dreams felt muted. A terrifying thought whispered darkly. What if their plight was insurmountable? She turned towards modern medicine. Yet with each disappointing outcome, the glimmer of hope began to fade. Yet deep within, a flickering flame remained. Then, on a chilly night illuminated by stars, Emily made a choice. Gathering fellow parishioners, she rallied them for a night of prayer under St. Michael's watchful gaze. The gathering felt electric, filled with both uncertainty and devotion. As they united for a purpose greater than themselves, an intensity surged through the church. Together, they laid bare their fears and hopes, creating a communion of hearts cradled in faith. As the clock ticked, and darkness enveloped them, an astonishing stillness settled in. The air seemed to hum with divine energy, a preparation that left everyone at the edge of their seats. Emily sensed that a warmth blossomed around them, as though heaven leaned in to listen. Is this the turning point? Asked her heart quietly. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. With each whispered prayer, the congregation felt a rising tide of faith pushing back against the shadows of doubt. It was palpable, the mingling of voices creating a symphony of desperation and hope. Lord, transform our weakness into strength, Emily cried, gripping the hands of those around her. As the solemn clock struck midnight, an unexplainable presence filled the air. Could it be? Could their collective faith summon a divine miracle? Their breaths held. A quiet anticipation hung heavy in the sacred night. As the final prayer rose, a tangible plea woven into the fabric of their souls, the atmosphere thickened. With hearts poised on the threshold of angelic intervention, Emily's spirit soared. Caught in an unseen current of divine possibility, would faith redefine their lives, breathing new life into their hopes? As the last echoes of their prayer lingered in the air, a stillness fell upon the church. The flickering candlelight cast long shadows across the stone walls, each flame representing a heartbeat filled with hope. Emily felt a warmth wash over her, a soft breeze weaving through the gap in the aged wooden doors, as if God himself had stepped into the space. It was in that moment that she opened her heart fully to divine possibility. Suddenly, An unexpected sound arose, a gentle rustling, like the leaves of autumn whispering secrets. The gathered souls turned toward the sound, eyes wide with wonder. Was it merely the wind playing tricks, or was there a presence among them? Fear and trepidation were momentarily overshadowed by a contagious excitement that rippled through the group. Emily closed her eyes, seeking connection to that holy light. "Lord, if this is your will, let's be open to what you have for us tonight," she breathed, giving herself fully to the spiritual atmosphere surrounding them. In that sacred silence, her heart swelled, pulsing with the rhythm of faith. Then, unexpectedly, a voice rose above the rest, a trembling, sweet tone that resonated with longing. It was Margaret, a beloved member of their congregation, known for the deep well of wisdom she possessed. "Faith," she began slowly, "is not merely the absence of doubt. It is the presence of conviction belief that moves mountains and brings forth miracles." Her words wrapped around Emily like a warm shawl, filling her soul with a renewed sense of purpose. Emily opened her eyes, feeling galvanized as if ignited from within. With fresh confidence, she addressed her fellow worshippers. "Tonight, we're not just praying for healing for my husband. We are praying for all who carry burdens. We're forming a tapestry of faith woven together by love." Her voice rose with fire, and the congregation nodded, catching the wave of her fervor. In that moment, the room sparkled with a collective determination. They began to pray anew, blending pleas with praise and thanksgiving. The atmosphere grew thick, charged with an energy that felt almost tangible. Emily felt the remindings of the first miraculous truth wrap around her heart. Healing awaits those who believe. With every word spoken, the group summoned a deeper belief. They were no longer just voices in the night. They stood united, a mighty army wielding the banner of faith. Emily gazed around the room, tears brimming, but not from sorrow. These were tears of hope, a raw kind of healing touching each heart. One by one, as their prayers intensified, a sense of expectancy filled the air. The idea that miracles were not just for the pages of sacred stories shimmered like a beacon of light. Was it possible that heaven itself was listening, poised to respond? The thought sent a shiver through her. But as doubt whispered once more at the edges of her mind, Emily reached deep into her faith. "Lord, grant us the sight to see what you see. Show us the miracle even before it arrives." This bold prayer resonated within her, igniting a flicker of courage. And then, as if in response, the temperature in the room seemed to rise. A soft glow enveloped the candles, illuminating faces aglow with anticipation. It felt as if a divine presence had indeed drawn near, beckoning them to believe in what was possible. With hearts full, Emily turned to Margaret and whispered, "What happens now?" The tantalizing question hung between them like a promise, vibrant with potential. As the congregation raised their hands in unity, ready to receive, the air crackled with divine possibility. But what awaited them in the certainty of their newfound faith? Would a miracle emerge from the convergence of their spirits? With hope woven into the fabric of their being, they stood at the brink of transformation, unaware of the divine revelation that was about to unfold. The atmosphere thickened, stretching time like a fragile thread between the ordinary and the extraordinary. Emily could feel the pulse of anticipation echoing through her veins, as if the very walls were alive with expectation. Each heartbeat seemed to drive the congregation closer to the divine moment that hovered just out of reach. Suddenly, a soft, silver light illuminated a corner of the church, casting away shadows that had lingered in the dark. Gasps filled the room, and eyes widened, drawn irresistibly towards the source of that light. It was as if heaven was pulling back a curtain, offering a glimpse into something beyond their understanding. Margaret, sensing the shift, raised her hands higher. "Praise him. It is a sign. Our faith has summoned the very presence of the Almighty." The congregation joined her, their voices rising in unison like a wave crashing against the shore. There was joy, reverence, and the thrill of surrender, all mingling in the radiant glow. Emily's heart raced. Was this the miracle they had prayed for? She felt as if she were standing on holy ground, where all doubts dissipated in the warmth of faith. "Lord, reveal yourself to us," she cried, her voice piercing through the chaos of emotions. What happened next was indescribable. The light pulsed, synchronized with their heartbeats, almost as if responding to the fervent pleas of the gathered souls. It moved and flickered, wrapping around them like a cocoon, melting away fears and doubts one prayer at a time. It wasn't just a light. It was a promise, a reassurance that miracles dwelled not so far from their reach. As the congregation continued to pray, Emily felt a gentle tug at her spirit. A whisper formed in the recesses of her mind, clear yet enigmatic. 3 truths await your revelation. Dear child, 3 truths? Margaret echoed, her voice laced with awed wonder. What would they be? The light shifted, catching Emily's eye as it began to coalesce into 3 distinct shapes, shimmering delicately before their gaze. Each one sparkled with a different hue, illuminating a unique promise, yet intertwined with the love that bound them. Suddenly, the rushing wind that had danced through the doors earlier amplified, a sacred breeze swirling around them, as if carrying messages from above. It tousled hair and lifted prayers higher still, transforming their humble words into vibrant expressions of faith that soared toward the heavens. The first shimmering shape began to morph, gaining clarity, an outline that Emily couldn't quite make out. Behold the first truth, an unseen voice declared, calm and resonant. In your moments of struggle, when shadows loom, know that He is your light. You need only to illuminate your heart with His love. Gasps filled the space as the message penetrated deeper. With each passing second, that first truth ignited a spark in every believer's soul. And the second truth? Margaret inquired, her eyes shining like stars. The second shape emerged, bright and golden, radiating warmth like the sun on a beautiful day. This is the truth of healing, and it flows freely from the faith of the gathered. Believe, and it shall be done. A wave of emotion washed over them, waves crashing against the shore of their hearts. Tears streamed down faces, mingling the salt of joy and longing as they grasped the gravity of that proclamation. And the third? Emily prompted, her heart a mixture of fear and excitement, begging for more. The third shape flickered before them, a vibrant purple clothed in mystery, pulsating with indescribable energy. The final truth is this: transformation is always within reach. Trust in His providence, and you shall witness the extraordinary emerge from the ordinary. With this, the lights began to dance wildly, swirling in rhythm with the guile of faith surrounding them. Loud praises erupted, affirming the truths that shimmered in their hearts, promising breakthrough. Emily felt empowered, ready to take on whatever came next. But just as the last echoes of their joy began to settle, she sensed a stirring in the atmosphere. The air thickened once more, pregnant with expectation. What other divine encounter awaited them just beyond this moment? Clutching her hands together, she murmured softly, "What will He reveal next?" The silence hung heavy in the sanctuary, a tangible weight of anticipation that seemed to stretch the moments into eternity. Emily's heart thudded against her ribcage as she closed her eyes, feeling the pulse of the congregation sync with the rhythm of the divine presence. Each breath felt sacred, as if they were inhaling the essence of hope itself. Suddenly, the air shimmered, and a soft, melodic voice swept through the room like a gentle breeze. "Prepare your hearts, for a deeper revelation is upon you," it said, melodious and soothing. Emily opened her eyes, drawn by the sound that wrapped around her, forming a bridge between heaven and earth. The 3 shapes continued to pulse in vibrant colors, each one a living reminder of the truths they had just received. But now, they seemed to ripple with life, hinting at something more. The vibrancy of the golden light swirled, revealing scenes from the life of Christ, moments of healing, love, and sacrifice. It was as if they were witnessing the stories unfold right before their eyes, each flicker echoing with the power of a million testimonies. Margaret, feeling the growing intensity, clutched her chest, tears streaming down her face. "Oh, beloved Lord, you are here. Show us what is next. Show us, Lord." Emily's breath caught in her throat as the echoes of their worship began harmonizing with heavenly music, a choir of angels lifting their voices. The silver light shifted into a tapestry of beautiful images filled with compassion, each one speaking to the struggles that lay within not just their hearts, but those of their community. And then, the first shimmering form, still glowing softly, began to take on a new shape. It unfurled like petals opening to the sun, revealing not only light, but also an image that felt achingly familiar, a hand reaching out, inviting and beckoning. "What you seek is not hidden from you," the voice continued. "You are called to be that light for others, to be hope and help to those in need." Gasps filled the room again, but this time they bore the weight of realization. Each member of the congregation exchanged glances, breaths hitching as an understanding swept through them like a wildfire. They were not only receivers of miracles, but also conduits of grace and love. Emily felt an electric thrill surge through her. "Yes, Lord, use us. We are willing," she cried out, her voice trembling with conviction. The second glowing shape intensified, a vivid gold now taking on the contours of a heart. It pulsed rhythmically, like a life force radiating joy. "The healing you seek today is about restoration. As I healed the brokenhearted, so too must you heal one another. Share in the burdens and joys, and you shall see healing flow." Strong murmurs of agreement rolled through the crowd, hearts swelling with purpose as they embraced the call for action. Emily's spirit soared. She could feel each heartbeat echo with an eager anticipation for the possibilities ahead. Suddenly, the vibrant purple began to shift once more, swirling and deepening until it revealed a figure standing strong amid a storm. A reminder that transformation often emerges from the trials of life. The work is done in the dark nights. You are the stars that shine brightest against the black canvas of adversity. The reactions were electric. The congregation erupted in spontaneous worship, hands lifted high in surrender, joy bubbling over as they grasped the magnitude of their call. Emily's heart soared. They were not just witnesses, but participants in a divine story unfolding before them. Yet, even amid the joyous uproar, an unsettling awareness took root. There was still a question lingering in the air, delicate yet powerful. What must we confront to fully embrace this truth? Emily thought, as she glanced around, sensing the weight of their shared journey ahead. As they stood together, united in faith, she felt the winds of change gathering once more. Something profound loomed just ahead. What challenges awaited? What actions would be demanded of them in this brave, new chapter of their lives? In anticipation, they awaited further revelation. The room pulsed with a vibrant energy, each heartbeat echoing the sacred promise that had been unveiled. Emily felt her spirit quivering with expectation, as if a curtain had parted just enough to reveal the glimmer of what was to come. Gazing around at her fellow congregants, she saw their faces illuminated with purpose. Hope and faith intertwined like threads in a divine tapestry. Suddenly, the majestic voice, still melodic but growing in intensity, broke through the atmosphere once more. "Listen closely, my beloved children. The journey has only just begun. You're called not just to believe, but to live this calling with fervor. Are you ready to take the next step?" A hush fell over the sanctuary, weighted with purpose. Everyone leaned in, their eyes wide with anticipation. Emily's heart raced as she heard the still, small voice whispering to her. What does it mean to be ready? She pondered, the questions mingling with the growing excitement. The shapes in the sanctuary surged anew. The gold heart burst forth, flooding the room with warmth. As it radiated outwards, it began to unveil a new scene. a bustling market filled with people from all walks of life. Faces lined with sorrow, joy, hopelessness, and longing danced through Emily's vision. You are the light amidst the darkness, the hands that can bring healing, the voice declared. Do not shy away from the pain of others. Instead, embrace it. Be the bridge that connects their struggles with my love. The congregation shifted uneasily. Burdened by the weight of the call, a murmur rippled through the room. Emily felt it too. The challenge of stepping outside the comfort zone was palpable. How can we do such mighty deeds? A question emerged, raw and transparent, bubbling under the surface of shared discomfort. If sensing their hesitation. The silver light shimmered intensely, casting sparkles of encouragement. Remember, my dear ones, you do not walk alone. I am with you in every step. Your doubt is no match for my strength. Trust in the promise that through your willingness to serve, my grace will abound. Eyes locked in resolve, Emily saw courage rising like a tide. Each member of the congregation stood with a mix of fear and faith, bonded by a shared understanding that they were called to something greater than themselves. What if we fail? Some voices whispered. Failure is not the end. It is simply the beginning of a new lesson, the voice assured them, wrapping around their hearts like a comforting embrace. With each wound healed, a soul revived, you shall witness miracles that will reshape your community. A wave of realization swept over the congregation. They began to recall moments where they had touched others' lives, small acts of kindness that had sparked enormous joy. The fear of the future began to blend with a powerful sense of purpose. Yes, we can be strong together, Emily exclaimed, her voice rising again. Emboldened, they collectively prayed for courage, arms reaching skyward. Fill us with your spirit, Lord. Give us strength to act. The sound of their unified voices resonated through the hall, intertwining like threads weaving a holy banner of hope. But just as their need for reassurance peaked, the vibrant purple light unfurled once again, casting shadows that twisted and coiled. It beckoned them to gaze deeper into the unknown. But do not forget, your blessings will come wrapped in the fabric of trials. Are you willing to endure? Are you ready to shine in the darkness? Questions lingered, unanswered yet echoing in their hearts. Could they truly embrace the weight of their calling? A moment of stillness settled again over the sanctuary. They could feel it, the shifting winds of change whispering a promise of the unimaginable ahead. Fear and faith intertwined, stirring a new tension that demanded reflection. What would they face as they stepped forth into the world? What sacrifices would be required to fulfill their divine purpose? The anticipation intensified, and all hearts beat as one, awaiting the next revelation. As stillness enveloped the room, a hushed breath held the congregation captive, their hearts aligned and ready. In that sacred silence, the majestic voice once again soared, resonating deep within Emily's soul. Beloved ones, the path ahead is illuminated by 3 truths that will guide you. Listen intently, for each truth is a stepping stone to your destiny. A warm, golden light began to spread from the center of the sanctuary, offering softness to the hardened edges of doubt. Eyes glimmered with excitement and a touch of trepidation as the first truth unfurled like a blossoming flower, revealing its beauty. First, know that you are loved beyond measure. You are not isolated, but intricately woven into my family. Feel this love as you undertake your journey. It's a love that casts out fear. Emily felt warmth radiate through her, a gentle, embracing touch that eased trembling nerves. She could see others around her responding, some with tears brimming in their eyes. The truth settled in, intertwining with their hearts, draping them in comfort. With that revelation, the golden light brightened even more, illuminating more faces around her. Second, do not fear the unknown. Each step you take in faith is a step towards growth. Trust that every challenge is an opportunity for transformation, a catalyst for the work I'm calling you into. Remember, the world does not define you, I do." The atmosphere shifted again. The hum of hope vibrated louder, mixing with the whispers of faith rising like incense. Emily felt the walls enclosing her heart begin to crumble as excitement surged. The more they absorbed the truth, the more empowered each individual felt in that sacred space. And finally, the voice proclaimed with a crescendo of blissful certainty, "As you are called to become vessels of my love, remember, your suffering has purpose. It is through your trials that others see the true nature of my grace. Every burden you carry is a glimpse into my plan, a promise that you will emerge not just as survivors, but as champions of hope." The air was electric, hearts pounding in unison. Courage battled fear, and resolve eclipsed hesitation. Emily could see light breaking over each member of the congregation as revelations cascaded over them like refreshing rain. "We are not alone," echoes rang out. "We are chosen." A newfound commitment ignited among them. Hands reached for one another across the rows. With clasped palms, they began to pray fervently. "We embrace your love, Lord. We trust in your purpose. Transform us for your glory." As their spirits intertwined in prayer, something indescribable swept through the hall. A rush of divine presence broke over them like a wave, infusing every soul with energy. Emily could hardly contain the joy bubbling within, radiating a light that was her own, yet part of something much greater. But just as the fervor seemed complete, the purple light flickered once more, now swirling in patterns that painted a horizon of possibilities. "Are you prepared for the journey?" it whispered, now beckoning with an urgency that stirred their hearts. "For every blessing you receive, you're called to give. Will you step boldly into that which is greater than you?" The question hung in the air, laden with expectation. Emily and the congregation looked toward one another, a tapestry of determination woven through their collective gaze. Yet the way ahead was shrouded in sacred mystery. What awaited them beyond their comfort zone? What new realms of service and joy lay beyond the trials they would face? They took a collective breath, each heart reverberating with a final plea for strength, ready and waiting for the next unfolding revelation. The warm light began to shift, enveloping the room in a soft lavender haze. It felt different, a soothing yet invigorating presence washing over them. Emily's heart raced, fueled with a blend of excitement and fear. Questions danced through her mind. What awaited them in the unknown? What sacrifices would they face? Yet, she felt a profound assurance that they were not being sent alone. The voice of the Spirit echoed once more, this time wrapping around each heart like a gentle embrace. "As you embark on the journey, know this: the armor of faith you wear is fortified by love, unity, and intention." Each word struck Emily deeply, a melodic truth anchoring her spirit. Around her, she saw heads nodding in agreement, faces set with purpose. They understood. This was not just about them, but for a world desperate for hope. United, they were like raindrops prepared to fall together, creating ripples that would touch many lives. Now, I invite you to take a moment and envision a hope beyond your current understanding. Hold it in your hearts. The room grew still again, but this stillness was different. It felt electrifying. Minds began to wander into dreams. Healing, reconciliation, love expressed in unexpected ways. As if synchronizing, a ripple of gasps and murmurs filled the room, a tangible sense of expectancy. The congregation was cultivating visions of what could be, of lives transformed and futures restored. Emily, eyes closed and heart racing, found herself reflecting on her own dreams. Visions of spreading kindness and breaking down barriers coursed through her mind like an unstoppable tide. She whispered softly, "Lord, allow me to be a vessel of your love, to be part of this great unfolding." Suddenly, the golden light transformed into shapes that appeared almost alive, swirling gracefully above them. It twisted and turned, forming a radiant staircase that ascended towards the heavens, inviting each individual to cast their insecurities aside and ascend with courage. Will you climb the stairs of faith? The voice beckoned, almost tenderly. Will you rise above hesitation and embrace my call? They looked at one another, silently weighing their resolve. Emily felt the unshakable strength of those around her, their shared journey knitting them closer, transcending their individual worries. Nods of agreement flickered through the group. They were ready. With hearts beating in sync, they collectively stepped toward that luminous staircase. As they did, Emily felt a wave of inspired energy wash over her, a quickening of her spirit. Every step they took brought bursts of light into the sanctuary, illuminating dreams with vibrant colors. Hope spilled forth like a fountain. The voice echoed again. With each step, remember your love will influence generations. Your legacy is built on these commitments made now, and the ripples will reach far and wide. Tears streamed down Emily's cheeks, tears of joy, acceptance, and surrender. She felt rooted in the truth that they were becoming part of something divine, something bigger than themselves. Her heart was intertwined with the hearts of everyone in that sacred space, and the weight of the world seemed lighter in their unity. But just as they reached the first step, the light pulsed, and an unexplainable urgency filled the air. Be aware, the voice cautioned, for the enemy will try to instill fear and doubt. Equip yourselves with unswerving faith. The journey will require everything, yet it will also yield countless blessings. The path ascended into a thick, glorious cloud, the top obscured by a divine mystery. While courage surged within, Emily's mind echoed with a choice. Would they trust God amidst the fears that would rise? Would they persist in the face of inevitable challenges? In that moment, Emily felt a tremendous weight of responsibility and also soaring hope. With her newfound family, they were poised on the edge of the infinite, ready for the adventure unfolding ahead. What awaited them at the top of the staircase? What challenges and blessings were intertwined in their divine calling? The air hummed with anticipation, and they took another collective breath, moving forward into the unknown darkness. As they stepped onto the first stair, the brilliance around them intensified. Emily felt every emotion rise, the mix of elation and daunting uncertainty. Each footfall echoed with purpose, reverberating through her very soul. The air shifted. It tugged at her heart, urging her to lean into trust. The staircase spiraled, crafted by the very essence of faith itself. With every step, a pulse of warmth surrounded them, a reminder that the presence of the Spirit was palpably near. She could hear whispers from her companions as they shared their hopes and fears, forming a tapestry of collective prayers in the air. One by one, they revealed their dreams. Sarah spoke of wanting to heal the brokenhearted. Jason longed for peace in a world torn by strife. Emily listened, a smile spreading across her face. Their hearts beat as one, the air thick with a shared longing for something more significant than themselves. Remember, the voice of the Spirit resonated again. Each challenge is an opportunity to reflect my light. Face the unknown with unwavering trust, for doubt can be a shadow, but faith is your torch. As they ascended, the shadows around them began to flicker. Whispers of worry wound their way in like an insidious fog, but Emily was resolute. She felt a warmth radiating from deep within, a reminder that the foundation of their journey rested on love divine and unyielding. Suddenly, a figure appeared ahead, shrouded in radiant light. It was indistinct yet mesmerizing, a beacon guiding them further. Emily's heart raced. A mix of fear and awe coursed through her. Who was this figure? What purpose did they serve in their sacred journey? Step closer, dear ones, the figure beckoned gently. You are not alone, and I hold the truth you seek. The group paused, exchanging glances, curiosity lighting their eyes. They moved as one, encouraged by a weight of hope and faith. With each step, the figure grew clearer, a soothing presence, radiating peace. I am a messenger, the figure spoke, voice echoing like a soft breeze through the trees. You will encounter trials that test your resolve. Yet no, these trials will refine you, shape you into vessels of grace. You will be transformed. Emily felt the weight of those words settle over her, almost tangibly. The trials wouldn't be their downfall, but an opportunity for deeper growth and connection with the divine. Fear began to yield to comfort. Doubt transformed into determination. Remember this. The journey is about more than your own enlightenment. The figure continued. You are keys in a grand symphony, creating harmonies that touch lives around you. The struggles you face will bring forth strength, not just for you, but for those you will lead as lights in the world. A chorus of silent relief swept through Emily's heart. The enormity of the mission ahead didn't scare her as much anymore. She leaned into the truth that there was beauty in the journey, and the path was paved with divine purpose. Are you willing to continue? The figure asked, casting a gaze that held galaxies within it. Are you prepared to face the shadows that exist beyond the light? They exchanged determined glances again, the collective heartbeat echoing through the hall. Yes, Emily blurted out, her voice strong and clear. We will face whatever lies ahead. With that proclamation, the air crackled, a joyous energy surrounding them as they stepped boldly forward into the swirling mist. What awaited them on this newfound path? What deeper truths lay hidden in the shadows? One thing was certain: the adventure had just begun, and each challenge now belonged to a greater purpose. As the swirling mist enveloped them, a gentle luminescence began to emerge, casting shadows that danced playfully at their feet. Emily felt a thrill of excitement mixed with anticipation. This was the beginning of something profound, and as they ventured deeper into the unknown, she reminded herself that uncertainty was merely the doorway to divine revelation. The air crackled with energy, each breath carrying the scent of possibilities. Emily could hear her friends beside her, their whispers aglow with renewed courage, echoing the same sacred promise the figure had given them: transformation through trials. Her heart swelled. They were not venturing alone. They were 5 vessels adrift in an ocean of grace. Suddenly, the landscape shifted around them. The mist swirled into shapes, forming what looked like hearts, hands reaching out, and souls intertwined. Each manifestation spoke not just to their fears, but also illuminated their hopes. It was as if the very essence of their dreams was dancing before them, urging them to acknowledge their power. Do you see that? Jason pointed, eyes wide with wonder. It's beautiful, Sarah breathed, taking a step closer. The sight was mesmerizing, but Emily felt an urgency within her, a nudge from the spirit that stirred her once more. With each step, the shapes morphed, revealing deeper layers. The hearts pulsed like a drumbeat of divine love, and the hands portrayed unity among all seeking souls. In that moment, Emily realized the truth that lay in their mission. They were not just walking for themselves, but for every heart that had felt loss, heartache, or despair. They were about to walk into a sea of souls longing for hope. Believe, the voice of the Spirit cascaded around them, in the power of your collective faith. Together, you will help turn despair into hope. Overwhelmed by the task ahead, Emily couldn't help but feel the weight of the invitation. It was daunting yet exhilarating. Lord, she whispered under her breath, make us strong. Let our hearts be vessels of your love. As they continued, the energy around them shifted again. Up ahead, a series of doors appeared, each carved with intricate symbols. The symbols glowed softly, each one pulsating with energy. Emily felt a tightness in her chest and realized they were standing at the threshold of choices. Behind each door lay experiences that would shape them further. What do we do now? Sarah asked, her voice trembling as she reached for Emily's hand, squeezing it tightly. Each door represents a challenge. The messenger's voice returned, resonating firmly in Emily's heart. Only through experience shall you unlock the gifts within yourselves. Emily closed her eyes for a moment, contemplating. What if the doors held opportunities that would stretch them beyond their current understanding? What if they were meant to walk through each one, head held high, pressing into whatever was on the other side. A hush fell among them as they looked from door to door, contemplating their options. "Which door?" Jason finally asked, his voice lowed in that moment of silence. As they surveyed the doors, Emily felt an undeniable pull toward the door nearest to them, its symbol a radiant light. It shimmered, drawing her in like a moth to a flame. I think we should choose this one." The words slipped from her lips, bursting forth with a conviction she hadn't fully anticipated. The others nodded, a newfound resolve glimmering in their eyes. They walked towards the glowing door, not knowing what lay in wait, but with hearts ready to embrace whatever divine truths awaited them. As they reached for the handle, a strange sense of anticipation settled in the air. What awaited them beyond the threshold? Would they find the strength to transcend their limitations? Emily's heart raced with the thrill of the unknown, and just as she turned the doorknob, the whispered promise of the Spirit brushed against her soul, reminding her, in the journey of faith, every choice carries the weight of transformation. Are you ready to be molded? The door creaked open, revealing a glow that spilled out like radiant joy. What awaited them inside the light? Only time would unveil the profound secrets of their journey. As the door fully opened, a radiant light poured forth, enveloping Emily and her friends in a warmth that made them feel cherished and alive. The atmosphere shimmered with potential, the air thick with the promise of revelations yet to come. Instinctively, they stepped forward, hearts entwined and eyes wide with anticipation. Inside, they found themselves in a vibrant landscape, a meadow lush with flowers, each one a symbol of hope, healing, and unbreakable faith. The skies above were painted in hues of deep gold and soft lavender, swirling together as if the dawn and dusk were intertwined in a divine embrace. It was a heaven kissed by beauty, echoing with the whispers of all the miracles that awaited them. "Look at this place," Sarah exclaimed, her voice trembling with delight. "It feels like a promise." Emily felt the words dance in her soul. "Yes, this is what faith looks like," she cried, her heart swelling with joy. As they wandered deeper into the meadow, they came upon a gentle stream flowing with crystal-clear water, sparkling like diamonds in the sun. Suddenly, a figure stepped forward. Wrapped in light and love, the figure radiated an overwhelming sense of peace. "Welcome, beloved ones," the figure said, soft yet powerful. "You have entered the place where hope springs eternal. Here, you will recognize the gifts that lay within you." Emily's heart soared. "What gifts?" she asked, her voice shaking with excitement. The figure smiled and gestured to the flowers surrounding them. "Each bloom holds a truth your individual strengths. To witness the beauty of transformation, you must first recognize your unique gifts. It is through these that you will bring joy to the world." As the figure spoke, the flowers began to sway gently with the breeze. Each petal whispered a truth, forgotten dreams, and aspirations rekindled within their hearts. "I have the gift of healing," Jason whispered, awestruck. Sarah's eyes sparkled. "And I can bring hope to those lost in despair." Emily felt a wave of clarity wash over her. "And I'm a vessel of love." "Yes, you are all connected in this journey," the figure proclaimed, arms open wide. "These gifts are not merely for your benefit. They are to be shared with the world, little miracles waiting to unfold through your actions and faith." As this realization sank in, an electric energy surged through Emily and her friends, echoing with ambition and purpose. They were not just participants, they were authors of their destinies. "Now," the figure continued, "you must face a choice. One more door remains." With these words, a light shimmered in the distance, illuminating another door that stood at the edge of the meadow, resplendent and beckoning. "Will you step through?" the figure asked, piercing their hearts with its gaze. "What lies beyond this door?" Emily inquired, a rush of hope battling the fears lingering in the air. "Beyond this door is the beginning of your legacy. You will venture forth, empowered by your gifts, into a world hungry for transformation. It will not be easy, for trials will meet you there. But no, through every struggle, my light will guide your way. With renewed courage thrumming in their veins, they turned to one another, nodding in silent agreement. "We are ready," Emily declared, her heart thrumming with assurance. Hand in hand, they approached the door together, their spirits united in unwavering faith. As they reached for the handle, Emily took a deep breath, whispering a silent prayer of gratitude. "Lord, let us be vessels. Let our lives reflect your love." In that sacred moment, the door swung open, revealing a world beyond their wildest imaginations, a world cloaked in both shadows and light, ready for their unwavering faith and unbounded love. With hearts aligned and hope alight, they stepped through the threshold. They had been transformed, not just individuals, but a tapestry of shared purpose. The world awaited their brilliance, and they would shine brightly, as beacons of hope grounded in unwavering faith. Thus, their journey began a divine adventure interspersed with challenges and miracles that would leave a mark on every life they touched. This was only the beginning now. Dear friends, this is the moment to show your support. You need to subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss more powerful stories of faith and transformation. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Each click makes a difference. Tell us in the comments about your reactions and your own testimonies. We want to hear how this ending impacts you. Don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation. Only true servants of God understand the weight and urgency of these actions.